Howard the Duck was the first. Yeah, I know my Howard the Duck facts.
Sir, are you literally a journalist talking about alternative facts right now? Standing on that business.
You know what? Well played. Well played.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Coley. Welcome to this special episode of Seen on the Screen, brought to you by Make It Universal and Rotten Tomatoes, where we talk movies with some of the people behind the scenes at NBC Universal. My guest today is Craig Melvin. He's the co-anchor of NBC News' Today, a co-host of the third hour of Today, and a host of syndicated Dateline NBC broadcasts. Craig, welcome to the podcast.
This is delightful.
I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm going to begin with my favorite question, and I'm really excited to talk to you about this. Tell everyone who you are, official title and all, and what do you do for NBC Universal?
I am co-anchor Today's Show, third hour Today, and Dateline. So I have three jobs.
Yeah.
And the thinking was many years ago that if I accepted three jobs, the likelihood of me being fired would be lower, because you can fire a person from one job. It's hard to fire somebody if they've got three. So that's my title. That's what I do.
Well, let's start with the first one, which is co-anchor Today, because that is the newest one that has been added to the title. I think I saw you after that. Congratulations. That's like a very big deal. You're waking up America, sir.
My two direct bosses, they came in my office. Hoda had announced she was leaving maybe a week or two before that. And she'd come in my dressing room one morning before the show, which we never do. Like, we just don't, in the morning, everyone wants to be left alone. And she knocked on the door, and I opened the door, and she comes in. She's like, I wanted to tell you something. I was like, you're okay, aren't you? She's like, no, I'm fine. And she's like, I'm leaving. I'm like, leaving what? She's like, I'm leaving the show. I'm like, what show are you what show? She's like, the show. I'm like, you're leaving? And so, we talked a little bit, and she explained her thinking and that she was leaving, and she was like, you should do it. And I was like, well, I'm pretty good being the third wheel. A lot of job security when your name's not on the door. And then a couple weeks pass, and Libby Lease, the executive vice president of Today Lifestyle, and Tom Mazzarelli, who runs the show, they come in my office. They sit down on the couch. And I kid you not, there was a part of me that was like, oh, this is where they come in and they tell me, Craig, we love you, but we're bringing in somebody. We got this idea, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, we want you to be the next co-host of the Today Show. And, I'm not an emotional guy. Usually I got a little emotional. I was like, you guys sure? Did we talk about it? They're like, everyone's on board. Everyone's excited. We told Savannah she's going to call you in a second. But that's kind of how I found out. And then after that, it was just kind of the whirlwind actually probably just stopped about a month or two ago, I'd say. Yeah. It's been a whirlwind.
Since it just stopped, what was your favorite moment of the first sort of initial, after the calls, after whatever? What's been your favorite moment since it sort of happened?
God, that's a really good question. Favorite moment? It's funny, Jacqueline, it was all a blur. Like, the promotional tour was a lot, which is good. But I mean, there was one day where like, at Jimmy Fallon's show, and like, Jimmy's like showing this picture that he took of us, like backstage when I just found out. And like Jimmy gave me this great pep talk, and that was a highlight. I think probably the biggest highlight was that morning they surprised me with my family on the show, and my kids came out, and my mom and dad were there, and
I saw that.
Yeah, these are, as the kids would say, they're core memories. So there've been a lot of highlights. And then after that, of course, the work starts.
Yeah.
In some ways, in addition to the storytelling, in addition to the journalism, in addition to like the celebrity interviews and the sports and the travel, all the cool stuff, I tell people sometimes I feel like I'm the mayor of a small town.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of you gotta go do the lunch at blah, blah, blah. That we've done it for 30 years. You can't be the first to not do it. And so you do that.
Yeah. I do love this other aspect of your job, because I feel like you do a lot of what I do, which is that you have to watch a lot of movies and then talk to the people that craft it. But then you become kind of like me. We're like, you see more movies in a year than the average person. And I love that you still watch everyone, because I can tell you, not all the people that ask the questions watch everything. Right. But talk to me a little bit about this, because watching movies every week is a big part of your like family experience now, right?
It is. And again, Jacqueline, I would contend that's one of the things you don't really fully appreciate until you start doing this job. I mean, I had done some of it when I was the newsreader on the show, but when I got the title, like there was an expectation that I would watch these films. And the reality is, for me, like I like to be prepared. I like to do the homework. And I think for artists, they appreciate that when they're sitting across from someone who's actually taking the time to watch whatever they've created or been a part of creating. And I've talked to some of them about it because they do feel like disrespected when someone's sitting there asking them about a film that they've never watched.
Yeah.
So, it's a big part of the job. Now, I get to watch a lot of really good films with really good actors. And then sometimes I'm watching duds.
That's a real journalist, though. That's a real entertainment journalist. Yeah.
And you watch a film, it's not great. And by the way, sometimes they know it's not great.
Oh, they always know.
But you have to sit there and you're interviewing them and you're like, well, it's an interesting take on blah, 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 blah. Or it's a unique look at blah, blah, blah. I've come up with different ways because what I won't do is lie.
Yes.
To the audience or the listener and say, this film was, sometimes it's not a lie. Sometimes it really is good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find
the good things about it.
Yes. And certain films they just aren't for me.
Yeah.
Like this may surprise you. I'm not a huge rom-com guy. I respect the form. I respect the genre, but it's hard for me to sit and watch a romantic comedy and fully appreciate it like my wife does.
Yeah.
But I still watch.
I actually like that you watch a lot of these movies because you talked about this. Your wife is also a journalist, and I feel like y'all are kind of like a journalist family, but your biggest pastime is watching movies together. What has been your favorite movie watching experience as like in the Today Show environment, but you got the family to sort of see it together?
Our favorite together. I mean, listen, I'll tell you over the weekend, we had a blast watching the new Jurassic World. Oh, wait a minute. No, so the Mario Brothers movie was probably.
Mario?
They love that. I'm trying, we watched the Minions together.
Rise of Gru?
Yeah. Jacqueline, sometimes people will ask me about perks of the job, and there are a couple, but the screeners that you can watch with your kids, that's turned out to be quite the perk. Oh, wait a minute. Now that I keep having, to answer your question, I think it's like whatever we've watched most recently, How to Train Your Dragon.
That was a good one.
They love
the live action.
They love that one. I'm not just naming all of our films on purpose, by the way.
No, those are good. Those are good ones that I've watched as well, and I am also a proud employee.
Yeah, we're proud peacockers, but we've watched some Disney stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah. I love that you're able to sort of like share that, and again, being sort of. I mean, you're a literal newsroom man. Like I really kind of always, as someone that's been an entertainment journalist off in LA, we kind of like hold this, especially like 30 Rock. It's like very hallowed ground. I mean, we're here right now filming in the Tom Brokaw room.
This is Brokaw's office.
Yeah.
He's still with us in our hearts. On my first day here, I actually met Tom. It was quite the moment. Wow. Fun fact, I'll tell you, there's something that used to be in this office that's no longer here.
What?
So that chair that they're sitting on, there was this luxurious couch. Like back when this company spent money, like money on furniture. Like Brokaw was, like when Brokaw was here, whatever he wanted, he got.
Yeah.
And he had this couch. And people would come in, they would take calls on the couch. It was deep and plush. And they would sometimes take naps on the couch. Like it was so comfortable. And I don't flex. I'm not a flexer. But when I got the big new office, they were like, there's your budget for furniture. I was like, what about Brokaw's couch? They're like, what do you mean? I was like, can I have Tom's couch? They're like, really? That's what you want? I was like, yeah. I want the couch. And so I took the couch. It's in the office, a couple doors down. Roker walked in one day. He's like, you took Tom's couch? I was like, but Tom's not coming back to the office. People were sleeping on it. Got it cleaned a couple of times. I have gotten more flack from mid-level producers who stopped me in the hall. Like, hey, congrats on your job. Thanks for taking the couch. I used to sleep on that couch. I'm like, guys, stop. But before you leave, I want you to come and sit on the couch.
I will, because I have to now.
You'll appreciate why I took the couch.
Honestly.
And I saved the company a few bucks.
It's good to be the king. Like that's a moment where you need to flex the. I am the co-anchor of today. Like, come on.
Tom Yamas, the new nightly anchor, wanted the couch. I was like, ha, Tommy. A few months too late, buddy.
We're talking to him.
Yeah.
We are speaking to.
Like, Tom, heard you wanted the broke-out couch. He's just fun. He's got a bathroom in his office. Ask him about that.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm definitely gonna neener Tom Yamas now on the broke-out couch.
He's doing just fine.
He's doing just fine.
To your larger point, though, this is one of those places where when you start in journalism and local news for me, yeah, you dream about working at 30 Rock. And then even when I was filling in and I'd come and I'd walk in, I'm like, oh my God, it's 30 Rock. And then even now, even after having been here for 15 years in this building, like there's still like pinch me moments. Like I remember like I was in the commissary a couple years ago. I was like, oh, look at Questlove getting his own meatloaf for lunch. I was like, that's special. Or then you're in the gym and you're on the treadmill. I'm like, oh, look at Seth Meyers. Wow, Seth really gets after it on the treadmill. You know, like it's these
the
weird,
everyday aspect of your job.
But it's also, there'll be moments where it's a complete Star Wars bar, especially over in 1A. Like last week we had Bryan Cranston was on, and like there's Bryan Cranston, he's talking to like, you know, like Martha Stewart, and it's like, oh, they're the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and it's just always this complete and utter randomness that we've grown accustomed to, and the audience has as well. But it's still not lost on me.
We're going to jump into some films that you've seen on the screen, but as somebody who's a Dateline obsessive and I listen to the podcast every single day, what's been your favorite Dateline anything? Because first of all, I think Keith Morrison should have like an entire wing dedicated to him here. Forget an office. I love him.
Keith is acutely aware of how many summer homes he's built. Don't you worry. No, it's true. And by the way, I won't name names, but there are colleagues of mine who, when you call their voicemail, it's Keith Morrison. Like that's a thing. Like getting Keith to record your voicemail message. He won't do it for anybody. But there are colleagues who, when you call them, if you have their cell, you call them. Like, why is Keith Morrison answering her cell phone?
Now that you just mentioned that, I'm like,
he would do it for you. He would do it for you, but you got to get him in a room and he's got to be in a mood.
Man.
The true crime genre, Jacqueline, is something that it continues to baffle me.
You don't understand it?
And I'm a part of it. I'm a part of the ecosystem, and I still don't get. There's an executive that explained it to me this way. It doesn't matter how bad that last date you went on was. Doesn't matter how rotten your marriage is. Doesn't matter if you've been divorced 2 or 3 times. You watch an episode of Dateline, you feel a lot better about your lot in life. You do. And is dark and macabre as that may sound, that is why, and there have been some studies done on this, like people like true crime in part because, shit, my life may not be going well, but I'm alive. You know, that date that I went on Friday or Saturday night, it was bad. He didn't kill me. You know, I didn't wind up in a ditch. I've got family members who will text or call, and they're like, man, that was 12 years ago. The case has been adjudicated, and they know how it ended. I'm like, Aunt Ella, why are you asking about like who did it when you know it's the husband? It's always the husband. Sometimes it's the boyfriend. And guess what? It's always for one of 3 reasons. Do you know the one of 3?
Money, sex, or jealousy?
You do watch a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna.
You have there's a dark side to Jacqueline.
Moving on.
She was like, I know the 3. That was really quick.
I've watched everything. Of course I know the 3. I also watched Snapped, but that's a different conversation.
Okay.
We've got to go. We're moving on.
Okay.
We're moving on. Because you're a busy man and we're going to move on. But
no, you want to move on because you don't want people to know how dark you are.
They already know. If they've watched enough episodes of this podcast, they definitely know. I'm kidding.
What are you pulling out of the popcorn thing?
So inside each one of these popcorn buckets is a quote from a movie that you've hopefully seen on the screen that you're going to recognize.
This is going to be rough.
No, it won't.
Okay.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Oh, come on. That's from one of my all-time favorites. That's from A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
1992. That's Jack Nicholson. Sitting at Guantanamo Bay. And I used to remember the seating order, but at the table, of course, you had Tom Cruise, you had Demi Moore. you had Kiefer Sutherland all sitting there. The courtroom scene in A Few Good Men, justifiably, gets all of the attention. It's one of the arguably the greatest scenes in the history of cinema, in my opinion. You can't handle the truth. We know that.
Yeah.
I've always maintained that scene is just as powerful because in that moment you have Nathan Jessup, not just dressing him down, but emasculating him in front of Demi Moore. And then there's this epiphany that Jessup seems to have in the middle of his dressing down as he's smoking the cigar in like probably 100-degree heat there. He's like, oh, wait a minute. You answer to her. Kathy, you answer to her. Lieutenant Kathy. And then he goes into, we can't get into it on the podcast.
Yeah, he definitely basically dresses her down as a woman.
But
yeah.
in one scene, he's a misogynist. He's an elitist. All the things there. And you fully you realize in that scene who he is. Like the character, like who he really is. I love that scene.
That is a great scene. And I would agree. Scene. Like you missed your calling as a bit of doing my job, honestly, because that is a great dissection. I would even add that I agree with everything you say. And the best part of it is you also learn who Kathy is because it starts off with him saying, give me the transfer order. Because that's him showing like, I'm still a lawyer. Yep. Like, I know you may think that I'm on BS, which I kind of am, but like, I could wreck you right now because I know that transfer order is BS.
See, I would maintain that's also, this is not devoted to A Few Good Men. I maintain that is when he decided, maybe even unknowingly, that he was going to go after him in the courtroom. I don't think it was the scene with him and Sam at the apartment where he made that decision with the baseball bat and all. No. I think it happened. I think the seeds were planted at Gitmo.
Yeah.
Come at me. Come at me.
I dig it.
Come at me.
I think you got a little of that energy too. You got a little Kathy in you. I feel that.
You're right.
Yeah. Here we go. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'm making waffles.
I mean, it sounds like Shrek. Yeah.
I really gave, I never do impersonations.
By the way, you kind of nailed Eddie there.
No, I did not.
That was close. No, I knew who it was. You know what's interesting? And there are many moments where I'm like, oh, I'm failing the kids. We're failing the kids. They're listening to garbage music. They're watching garbage TV. This may have been about a month ago, Jacqueline. Maybe it was on the guide on TV or whatever. And my daughter was like, Daddy, I've never seen Shrek. I was like, oh God, what am I doing? That afternoon, I put on Shrek. You would have thought it was like the first time she'd seen Santa Claus. Like she was mesmerized. And the voices and the donkey, the prince, all of it. And then she finishes. And I was like, you want to watch Shrek 2? She's like, Shrek 2?
There's more?
And then I was like, sweetie, there's a Shrek ecosystem. They're coming out with another Shrek.
There's Zendaya's
there's
in
the
it.
Music. I introduced her to this whole new world, and she just loved it. And I think that's how you know a film is a film and not a movie.
Yeah.
Like when you can take someone back, what was it, 20, 25 years since it dropped? When you can take them back and see it through their eyes, and it doesn't just hold up. It's maybe even better.
Yeah.
Like it's like a fine wine. So I'm sorry, you just got me all excited over
No,
Shrek.
I mean, and honestly, I think you're right. I mean, there's a reason why we're coming back with a fifth one and we're continuing to do this because, I mean, listen, I think Shrek really, obviously we know, changed the game in animation.
Yes.
It really gave jokes for parents and kids. And so I dig it. Okay, you did amazing.
That was fun, by the way. I enjoyed that.
Exactly. We're going to move on to our second bucket. It's true or false.
How many buckets do you have?
Just 2.
Okay.
The 1986 film Howard the Duck
True.
was the first official Marvel movie.
Actually, you know what? I think that actually is true. I think technically that was the first official Marvel movie. Yes, don't give me that look. I'm standing by true. I know my Howard the Duck facts. It's not true?
No, the very first major motion picture was Captain America in 1944.
Oh, that's garbage. Yeah. Howard the Duck was the first. It was the first of the modern era.
Sir, are you literally a journalist talking about alternative facts right now?
I am.
You're standing on that business.
You know what? Well played. Well played. I should trust the facts. I apologize. I got it. You know what? I'm going to do something that's not done a lot these days. I was wrong. You were right.
Sorry.
I like the Howard the Duck reference, though.
Yeah.
That was, wow.
Yeah, do you have Howard the Duck is interesting too because even though it wasn't the first official Marvel movie, it was like George Lucas, like thinking that was gonna set this up, and it just so did not. But I actually love Howard the Duck.
Well, it's one of those that in the moment it was terrible, and then like
It became iconic.
it did.
Yeah, definitely.
But also, it's also one of those movies. I made that mistake of having my son put it on. I was like, wait, oh, that's right. This duck is R-rated, smoking and a lot of stuff, and we couldn't get too far into it. But it was one of those things where even back then, I remember thinking when I watched it the first time, like, how did this get out of committee? Like,
Because George Lucas financed it
well,
with his own
yeah,
money.
but it's like we should have a duck that's like poorly behaved, and yeah, but you know,
Hey,
there wasn't was there a sequel?
no. But the one thing I will say is Howard the Duck would have never happened if it wasn't for toys, because he financed that through all the merchandising deal that he did for Star Wars, because he owned the Star Wars merchandising for so long.
That's right. You know what else that could have been remade besides Howard the Duck or a sequel? And I've never understood why we never got a second version. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, yeah. Well, that one is rights.
Well, yeah, but they got around it once.
That was like a miracle, though.
Yeah.
And then they hated that certain people got credit and certain people didn't.
God, it
yeah.
was classic. That
But
was
no,
a great one.
I agree with you on that one. I would love to see another Who Famed Roger Rabbit. Next, true or false? Although Michael Jordan's real kids were not in the 1996 film Space Jam, their names were used.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm trying to, because I've interviewed his kids. I'm trying to remember. Yes, true.
Yep.
True.
Jeffrey, Marcus, and Jasmine
Yep.
are all names within Space Jam, which I think is, honestly, you've interviewed Jordan.
Oh, we talked about Space Jam.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I didn't tell you this?
No.
Oh, this is one for the ages. If you saw the series on Netflix, you know how passionate he is about everything and how competitive he is about everything. Space Jam's no exception. We've finished the interview. We're breaking down. Some years ago, my son was younger. He never watched Jordan play, but he'd seen Space Jam, and he knew how great Michael Jordan was. Like, he was familiar with the greatness of MJ. Jacqueline, it was as innocuous as, hey, you heard about that new Space Jam 2? That's all I said. Like, I don't even know if it was a question, but I was like, hey, Space Jam 2 is coming. Without missing a beat. Like, he leaned forward. Michael's like, Craig, can you believe that they are going to touch the best animated sports movie of all time? And at first I was like, is he joking? Is he punking me? Because best I can gather, it's the only animated sports movie of all time. But okay, I get it. The superlative, it's important to you. And I was like, I just read they were LeBron's doing a Space Jam. Michael Jordan spent easily 4 or 5 minutes extolling the virtues of Space Jam. Like, it was next level. And in that moment, like, before that, I loved MJ. In that moment, I fell in love with him. Because to be that passionate about a film,
35-year-old movie, yeah.
Right. And was so, I won't say disgusted, but you could tell he felt some sort of way about it being like touched at all. And you didn't see MJ in Space Jam 2, did you?
No.
You did not. And if there's a Space Jam 3, I'd wager some good money he wouldn't be in that either. No.
If you've watched The Last Dance, you know he takes things personally.
Everything.
And
Everything.
I just would not want to be on the other side of him taking anything personally. That's it.
I mean, he was like, Craig, think about it. We had Barkley. We were playing with Bugs Bunny. Like, we had Looney. Like, I'm like, yeah, Mike, no, it was great. I saw it. It was, and he was like, he was like, and it was before a lot of the CGI. Like, it was before a lot of the advances in animation. It's like, yeah. And in the moment, I'm like, my God, it should have won an Oscar. Mike's right. Like, why didn't Space Jam get an Oscar?
Seriously, they didn't have him on the campaign. That's why. That was amazing. True or false? In the F1 movie, Brad Pitt and Damson Idris drove modified F2 cars designed to look like F1 cars, not actual Formula One vehicles.
Absolutely true. Full disclosure, though, I cheated.
How?
Well, because they told me last week. I had Damson Idris on, and we got really in deep in that. You know, he actually had to pass a driving test for the film.
Yeah, because they did Brits Don't Drive.
And he pass the test, but there was a lot of coaching involved. And they also had to, as you probably know, they drove those cars on actual racetracks, like during races.
Yeah.
So they would get like 10-minute windows and have to get out there. And it was very stressful. Damson Idris, though, we all keep halls of fame in our head in terms of guests. He's my new inductee.
Oh, lovely.
He is just the nicest guy, raised by a single mother, one of 6. He tells this great story of seeing Brad Pitt in a theater where he was an usher back in London many years ago. He sees Brad Pitt come in. I forget the film. And he said, like, I saw Brad Pitt. He had the long flowing hair. I'm like, I'm going to work with him one day.
Wow.
He manifested it. And he said the first time he saw Brad Pitt, like for filming for this, he told him that story.
No, you can definitely feel him leveling up.
Yes.
I also think F1, the film, is a really great moment because it's introducing, I know Drive to Survive introduced it to American audience, but I think this is a really big introduction to it.
I agree with you. It's interesting because I watched it with my wife, who is a sports journalist, and she got her start covering racing, like dirt track racing, like back in the day down in Florida and down in the South primarily. But she's always covered racing. That covered NASCAR, covers the Indy 500 every year. But they spend a lot of time during that film on the intricacies of the sport. I mean, they're talking about like concepts like drafting, and like you really have to be a racing fan to understand and appreciate some of what you see and hear during the film, which I think is great, not just for F1, but great for the audience as well. That's how you get immersed in something when you really. I think the technology that they use, like a lot of what you saw in the film, it was 100% accurate because they had like guys from the F1 on set every day. I mean, they were doing them on F1 tracks.
Yeah, and Lewis producing it and really acting as his own kind of personal technical advisor on it is crazy as well. What did your wife review as somebody that knows like the ins and outs of it? What was her sort of take? She was like, they did it right? Yes, that's actually, yeah.
But she also was able to pick up on a lot of the cameos. I don't really follow F1 that closely. She's like, oh, that's such and such. That's such and such. Oh, he's the team owner for. I was like, oh, wow, they really did incorporate a lot of the F1 DNA into the film, which true race fans appreciate that.
I mean, who's gonna say no to? You want to go hang out with Brad Pitt for the day? I mean, come on.
Correct.
That was amazing on the True and False.
You're sweet.
Honestly, Craig, this has been like kind of a dream to speak to you. We're not done with questions though. I have some rapid fire for you.
Boy.
What's your favorite movie snack?
Ooh, movie snack. Popcorn. And by the way, it's not that healthy crap. Like I'm talking like 80s, like put a little popcorn in, then the movie butter, put a little more in, then the movie butter, put a little more in, then the movie butter. Like when I go to watch a film at a movie theater with my kids, I want to leave with like greasy hands and a chance that I may have a coronary event. I don't want gluten-free crap. I don't want, don't give me a diet. Like
I want to make bad decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the last show you binged?
Ooh, the last show Department Q. I just finished last week.
That's a really good one.
Oh,
that is a really good one.
That was good. Adolescence.
That's another one.
That was a really good. Every parent should watch Adolescence. It's only 4 episodes too. Yeah. I watch so much. It's kind of I'm constantly.
Those are 2 good ones though. Those are 2 good
The
ones.
Studio. It's funny because I've deliberately saved the last episode.
Oh, you should really watch the last episode.
I had Cranston on because we had him on for his role in the new Wes Anderson film too. I was like, you know what? I had Cranston at the beginning of the series. That's enough for me to get through the interview. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to spoil it. I told Brian, I was like, I deliberately didn't watch the 2-parter finale. He's like, good, just save it. It's so good.
It is really good.
It's like, it's me on mushrooms. I was like, you kind of ruined it. Like you ruined your own, like I just said, like I'm saving it. And you're like, it's the mushroom scene.
But this is the deal. He told you that, but he didn't ruin it. He really didn't.
Okay.
That's like giving you the log line.
Oh, good.
But that is not telling you
I'm gonna watch it this week.
So it's sort of like, okay, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, they're gonna go do drugs, but do you know how?
That's a good point.
Like it's like that.
You know what? First of all, you're really good at this. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that. You're really good at this.
Oh
but it's interesting because I would also imagine for you, because you consume a lot. Do you ever do that where you like save something? Like it's so good. Like you're like, oh, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna watch this on, and and then before you can get to it, like somebody in passing, and I'm like,
I've had to remove my feelings on movies getting spoiled because in my world, not only do I interact with people that see things sometimes years before I will ever see them, you kind of have to get real okay with being spoiled just because your job will spoil things for you in a meeting. Like you have a Monday morning meeting and someone like just pops in and says, oh, I saw this yesterday. I need to tell y'all about it.
oh,
And they sometimes say, hey, do y'all not want to know? Do you want to know? But most of us kind of have to be big girls because like I got to be in this content meeting. And I got to let go of my like, what? I think they know on some things though. Like if it involves Zendaya or Lin-Manuel Miranda, they know they need to stay away from me.
They need to stay away from me.
We got to get you out of here. Favorite actor?
Oh.
Anybody?
You know what changes? Is that it changes, but all-time favorite's Denzel.
Denzel.
Yeah.
All right. Going to the movie theater alone, yes or no?
Oh, anything alone. Like I love being by myself.
And favorite classic Universal film?
I would say E.T.
That's a good one.
E.T.'s right because that was a game changer. But I mean, you could make an argument for Jaws.
They're both Spielberg, so
yeah,
that makes good sense.
I mean, we could play this game all day, but I would say one of those two.
Craig, this has been such a joy speaking to you. Thank you so much for being here.
This has been a real treat.
Thank you.
This was fun.